Shalom, 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 yasha'Allah. This your boy, Brother Shamwa Allah, back at you with another quick edifying video. Today's lesson is going to be called The Wicked Plotteth Against the Just. The wicked plotteth against the just. All right. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Call Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and his only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. All right. And the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom. Another mighty shalom to all you Akim out there laboring on the highways and on the hedges and on the unicorn, which is this internet, pushing this 100% doctrine, this 100% truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom to you all as well. Like I said, today's lesson is going to be called The Wicked Plotteth Against the Just. All right. And this is from Task and Purpose article. It says airmen indicted in a plot to take over Haitian island, enslave population. And look who it is. All right. It says Tanner Thomas. Okay. So it says an Air Force service member is one of two Texas men accused of trying to seize control of a Haitian island and a violent co-op and plotting to enslave its population. Tanner Christopher Thomas, 20, was indicted by the Department of Justice on Thursday. It says Thomas, an airman stationed in Texas, and his alleged co-conspirator, Gavin Rivers Weisenberg, 21, were both charged with conspiracy to delete, maim, or kidnapped in a foreign country and production, right, of child. It says the Associated Press reports that both men intended to plead not guilty, according to their lawyers. It says, according to the indictment against them, it says the two made a plan to gather a group of militants and sail to Haiti. In an armed expedition, they would take over Gonave Island, a 266 square mile island off the coast. They allegedly planned to delete all the men of the island and enslave the women and children and use them as slaves. It says the island has a population of roughly 87,000. They also researched and allegedly planned to buy military type rifles. According to the indictment, it says they plan to use those with their cadre. And it says, and take a sailboat to conquer an island with tens of thousands of people. It says the plot started in the summer of 2024 with Weisenberg and Thomas starting to learn Haitian Creole. It says, according to the indictment, Thomas joined the Air Force in January 2025 to gain military skills to help prepare for the co-op plot. It says, while his co-conspirator trained as a firefighter, Weisenberg failed out of the fire academy shortly after starting. A spokesman for the Air Education and Training Command confirmed to Task and Purpose that Thomas was assigned to Joint Base San Antonio Lackland with the rank of Airman Basic. It says the two spent months trying to recruit people to join their plot. Thomas even got his initial assignment station changed to Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland, using that location to try and recruit unhoused Americans in D.C. It says to join the co-op, and it says in slavery conspiracy, it's not clear how many people they got to join in on the plan. During this same period, they also produced, according to the indictment, Weisenberg was arrested in July, according to local media. It's not clear when Thomas was arrested. However, since his arrest, he did undergo a court martial. It says he was recently tried and convicted of a court martial for 3 Article 134 Uniform Code of Military Justice violations, which include communicating indecent language and violations of federal law for offenses not capital. It says the Air Education and Training Command statement continued. He was sentenced to a dishonorable discharge and 3 years confinement. It says the Air Force Office of Special Investigations, FBI, and the Salina Police Department are handling the investigation. Both men face between 15 to 30 years in prison if convicted. It says a conviction on conspiracy to commit deletion in a foreign country carries up to life in prison. All right. This is, who, the scriptures say, let's get that real quick. This, the Haitians. All right. So we know Levi. All right. They're coming for all the tribes at the end of the day. All right. But let's get the book of Psalms. All right, 17 and verse number 13. It says, "Arise, O Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." Okay, the wicked, which is thy sword. It says, "From men which are thy hand, O Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasures." It says they are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. All right, their inheritance to their descendants. All right, and that's how they made money before. All right, through slavery, and that's what they wanted to do. They were basically plotting to take over an island. All right, Esau, man, is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. All right. But you got this, these little goofballs, Genesis, who, say, this type of man can, make it and get salvation. All right. And he plotting against, 87,000 people on the island. Right. And the plan was to delete all the men. Okay. And keep the women and children for themselves to do, what does the scripture say about Esau? Hebrews chapter 12 and verse number 16. 16, it says, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel sold his birthright." All right. He's a profane, he's a fornicator and profane person, man. All right. These folks, they can't get right. All right. And they're constantly trying to seek who they may devour. All right. The scriptures say, let's get Habakkuk. All right. Let's get the book of, Micah. Micah chapter 2 and verse number 1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds." It says, when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Okay, so they were plotting out a whole scheme of how to do it. They were trying to recruit and do all these different things. All right, why? Because it's in the power of their hand. All right, they can go, try to get their weapon, all right, their blessing, which is the sword. All right, and they want to take over, these different countries. All right. So it says what? "And they covet fields and take them by violence." All right. That was their whole plan. And they were trying to recruit other people. All right. It says that they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man, right, into slavery, and his house even a man in his heritage. All right. This is what this devil does, man. All right. It's in his nature. Okay. It's in his nature. Matter of fact, what is that? Habakkuk, I think we were talking about this before. Habakkuk 2 and verse number no, Salaki, I believe it's up some 2 and 4. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. All right, but the just shall live by faith. All right, he's crooked, man. All right, he can't get right. His whole mentality. The scriptures talk about how let's get that. He shall be like a madman, sparing none. And we see, all right, this devil's trying to be like, the 1400s, all right, coming trying to gather people and, and put them into slavery, all right. But that's their mentality, all right, and it hasn't changed, okay. He's just hidden it, all right. He's been hiding it, 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse number 71, it says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear Yahawah Bahasham. Well, who fears Yahawah Bahasham? All right, the children of Israel at the end of the day. All right, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, the so-called Negro, the Haitians, the Jamaicans, the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, the Guatemalans, right, and so on and so on. All right, the children of Israel, okay, and they're gonna be like madmen, sparing none. Esau, Edom, all right, and we see, okay, that this devil, hey, he's always scheming, all right, against you, right, and our people can't seem to see it. All right, let's go back. Let's go here to what is that? Psalms 55. Right, Psalms chapter 55. And let's see. Let's go to verse number let's start at verse 20. All right, Psalm chapter 55, verse 20. It says, he putteth forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He have broken his covenant. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. It says, but war was in his heart. All right, his words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. All right, and that's what they're doing. Okay, he wanted to plot and try to, hey, well, I'm going to join the army so I can learn, basically, all these tactical skills. So for what? So I can go take over, Levi, all right, and enslave him, all right, on this island, okay. That's the wickedness, all right, of this devil, all right. The scriptures say, let's get this real quick. Salakia. Let's go to, we have brought this out today at camp, all right. And you can't trust your enemy, man. All right, he's always plotting against you. All right, let's go to the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus. All right, 12 and start at verse number 10. It says, never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, lest thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. It says, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place, neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And that's what he was planning on doing. Okay? He wanted to take over their land, man. All right? And enslave them. All right? And it says, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. All right? Jumping down to verse 16, it says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Okay? And that's, this devil to a T. Okay? Where he has plotted to try to take over an island. All right? This, hey, this is how this devil works, man. Okay? Let's go to the book of stay in the book of Psalms. Let's go to 141 and let's go to verse number 9. Okay, it says Psalms chapter 141 verse 9. Salakia says, keep me from the snares which they have laid for me. It says, and the gins of the workers of iniquity. It says, let the wicked fall into their own nets, while it's that I withal escape. Okay, that's what we're plotting, What does it say? Deliver me from the, I just brought it out, from the sword, the wicked, which is thy sword. Okay. In the NOT, it says, verse 9, Psalms chapter 141, verse 9, it says, keep me from the traps they have set for me, from the snares of those who do wrong. Let the wicked fall into their own nets, but let me escape. Okay. Let's go to verse, Salakia, Psalms 37, and let's start at verse 12. Let's see. This is Psalms chapter 37, verse 12. It says, the wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. Okay. It says, Yahawah shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. It says, the wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy and to slay such as be of upright conversation. All right. That's their whole plan. All right. They get their weaponry. All right. Because remember, their blessing was the sword, and they were going to take, the fatness of the earth with what? With their sword, by violence. All right. That's their true nature. Okay. That's their true nature. All right. In the NOT, Psalm chapter 37 and verse 12, it says, the wicked plot against the godly. They snarl at them in defiance. It says, but Bahasham just laughs, for he sees their day of judgment coming. And we see it. All right. It's coming soon. All right. It says, the wicked draw their swords and string their bows to kill the poor and the oppressed, to slaughter those who do right. Okay. And ultimately, that was their plan. All right. To try to take out the men of the island and take over an island, man. Right. This is who you're dealing with, man. Right. And, simple Jake, these YNs, they think that they got stuff, and Esau is his whole plot and plan is a whole lot bigger, man. All right. Because he is the wicked that the Bible speaks of. Okay. He is the wicked of the earth. All right. And it's never enough for them. All right. That they have to take over. All right. And that's their nature, put people in slavery, So I just wanted to do this quick lesson. I saw that article. I just wanted to do, touch bases on it, right? Because, I've never seen it. That was just a new one to me. I just saw it, recently. All right. But you got these type of spirits out here walking. All right. And they have that, like the book of Ezekiel says, they have that perpetual hatred against Jake, man. Okay. And they, that's what they want to do. They want to basically take over. All right. Everything that you have. All right. And to keep you in subjectivity. All right. And ultimately to keep you and to put you into slavery. Okay. That's still in their heart, man. It has not left their heart. They've just hid it. That's why it says, never trust thy enemy. All right. As iron rusteth, so does his wickedness. All right. And he's just been trying to polish it and make it look, shiny and make it look like it's all good. But underneath, we know it's rusted. All right. We know the wickedness is there. And it's just a matter of time before it comes out. And you see that right there. All right. So I just want to do this quick lesson. Lord's will, this was edifying. Right. With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, call Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Peace and blessings to the elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad. A mighty shalom to the 144,000 men. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have ruled well through the Spirit. Another mighty shalom to the rest of the elect in the household of faith, man. Stay diligent, stay focused. All right. It says the name of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is a strong tower, and the righteous runneth into it and are safe. All right. As we continue to pray that Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi will keep us, all right, from this wicked man, all right, whose every waking moment, all right, where he can't even sleep, is trying to plot on Jake, man, of all the tribes at the end of the day. All right. So we say a ball, and shalom.